In this video, we'll be taking the things that we've created in the previous videos and assembling them in a trip extension. So if you haven't watched the previous videos or read the previous tutorials yet, you might go back and review those now before you watch this one. Begin by going to the My Account menu item in the main menu, then clicking Workspace Extensions. In the upper right, click Add Workspace Extension. Give your extension a name and description, something that will be easy to search by from the trip. There are a few types of extensions available. This tutorial is focused specifically on trip extensions, so in the Workspace drop-down menu, choose Trip. If you're an administrator, you can share your extension with others in your agency. If your role is set to Agent, then you can only create one for yourself. The extension we create here will have a tab, email automation, and tasks. You don't have to include all three though, you can use any combination. First we'll add a tab to our extension. You can only have one tab associated with an extension, but you can have multiple extensions on a trip. Here we've chosen the Resort Info tab. Set the status of your extension to Active. If you want your extension to be added automatically to trips, click the Add Automatically checkbox. Choose the trip types you want it associated with, then choose the supplier types. Even if you have it set to add automatically, you can still manually add it to other trips. Click Save to continue to the other sections. First we'll add email automation. These are emails that will be sent to your client. Click Add Automation, choose the automation type, then select the statuses that you want to be valid for this automation. Email automation can be triggered a certain number of days before the trip start date or after the trip end date. In this case, we'll send an invoice 45 days before the trip start date if the trip is active or booked, and we'll only send it to the primary clients. Click Next and then choose the invoice template that you'd like to send. Now we'll repeat the process for some additional emails. This will be a traveling email, so we want to include more statuses. Set the number of days before the trip start date, and this one will be sent to all clients. Click Next, then we'll choose the template that we created in the last video. Now we'll repeat the process one more time to send a welcome home email. This one will be based on the travel end date and should only be sent if the trip is in the traveled status. One note about extensions and package levels in TESS. The tabs and tasks are included in the standard package, but email automation is included in the advanced package. You may have noticed that there's a third delivery option in the list, to send after email activation. This option basically means as soon as possible, as soon as all the elements are present to be able to send the email, including the traveler, the extension, and the trip, the email will be scheduled. Next we'll add some tasks to our extension. Remember that tasks are reminders for you, the agent. Your clients won't see these. The process is similar to adding email automation, just a little bit simpler. Choose the type, how many days ahead of the due date you'd like to receive a reminder, then the number of days before the trip start date or after the trip end date you'd like the due date to be set. We'll add a few of these for examples. That's all that's required to create an extension. In the first video in this section, we reviewed using extensions on trips. So we won't spend a lot of time on that, but we'll take a quick look at how this extension looks on a new trip. Because we chose trip type and we chose a resort, the extension will be added automatically. You can see that it shows up in the top right. You can also see that the 4 tasks were added automatically, and our resort info tab showed up. This tab is just an example, you won't see it in your list, but it shows some of the things that you can do with the tab. Next we'll add a traveler so we can see how our email automation affects the trip. Click Add Traveler, select Primary, and search for your traveler name. Then click Save. The 3 emails in our extension were added, and if you want to add additional emails, click Schedule Automation Email. If your extension isn't set to be added automatically, just click Add Extension in the upper right, and then search for the name of your extension.